This is BleedTV, the only podcast with today's best shows and movies. I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cash.
And tonight we have Mayans. This is episode, is this 3 or 4?
4.
Golly, this is rolling fast. Number 4 and the title, Cash.
Oh, we got it this time. Murcielago and Zotz. Not the candy. Not the candy.
You're a aficionado? Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, I mean, when Jake was busting it out and everything, I tried ragging on him, but no, he lawyered me. We're going to give it that.
Oh, you Googled it out, huh?
Google.
All right, so this episode had a ton of opinions across the board, social media, and everywhere else. I'm very curious to see where y'all are on this one.
This episode struggles with me, mostly just because.
All right, mute him. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding.
Mostly just because it's like it's bouncing around a lot. It's like everything's like happening pretty fast.
Yes.
Like the episodes we've enjoyed the most. I say we, but I think we've enjoyed the most are the ones where they kind of develop characters a little more. Lately, it seems like, and really it's every episode, but they like have to throw a bad guy in. Like, oh, here's a new group of bad guys we've never seen before. Just throw bad guys in constantly.
Yes.
Every episode, it's like, and it gets resolved every episode almost. You know what I mean?
I'm guessing you're talking about the Aryan / Miller.
Yeah, I mean,
Peckerwoods,
Peckerwoods, yeah.
Okay, so, but I'm just saying, like, it's not very fluid. It's just constantly like something.
Well, it was very fast.
Yeah,
like we have
fast.
a scene of somebody getting murdered on the border, and then before the episode's over, they're already in tactical gear and attacking to take care of this place.
And there was a fist fight.
Well, that was a WWF montage right there.
I'm just saying, like, they're hitting on these things. Remember the one thing I asked that I hope wouldn't happen is showing the animal at the beginning and then re-showing it.
We got a new one.
Every episode they've done it.
We got the bat this time.
And they're always CG.
Yeah, man, they're always worse and worse each and every time.
Put a bat right there. I mean, really, come on.
Well, the two that fly out of the cave in the middle of the episode was like, okay, well, that's easy. But that CG when they got hanging there, I was like, ugh, not as bad as the owl. But we'll go.
Yeah. Please let us never go back to the owl.
I don't understand necessarily what do you know what this feels like? It feels like there was a shitload of reshoots. Like there was.
I can give you that.
The episode I enjoyed a lot because we learned some more stuff. I liked that we played with certain characters more than others this time. I enjoyed that part. I love the Pops angle we're going with. I think getting the DEA more involved and seeing this guy actually has a human side. I enjoyed all this stuff. The only part I struggled with really a lot with the episode was the whole, why are we worried with the Peckerwood part of it? Why are we worried about the drugs and them dealing with this? To me, that has no bearing on what the story has portrayed so far for us.
Well, I mean, it's putting a lot of stress on it and everything, and now we realize we have the mayor to deal with and everything. So, I mean, they introduced a few good things with the drugs and the Peckerwoods. I just don't know if it was necessary.
Yes and no,
but they also introduced too much.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Like, to
me,
we
can't keep a through line because they just keep throwing shit at us.
And like you said, it gets resolved, so it's like, wait, why did I need to do this again?
And I hate to say this, but this made me feel like we were watching an episode of SOA when we were talking to Charming about how, we're going to handle our business our way to solve a problem. And the mayor's like, that's cool. Well, that's just like Unser back in the day. Like, I know what you're going to do to solve it because they're doing that's what's better for their community and their area, and it's impeding on their drug trade.
Yeah.
To me that was like, okay, well, let's pluck that exactly from where the other SOA was doing the entire time, and it just, to me, that filled up a lot of the episode. Instead of last episode, they focused on trying to figure out who the rat is, if there is a rat in MC, and like that's where they left you hanging, right? And then even in this episode, Alvarez is kind of talking to Prospect, and he already has some kind of suspicions, or if there's any kind of deal about him and Angel. And so they were working that angle a little bit, but then that just fell right off.
Yeah, that conversation was really interesting because it's like, we've known he's thinking that there's a rat the entire time. And I didn't think he thought it was easy or anything, but it's like, if it comes between, we don't let brothers really sponsor each other. We don't want blood to get in the way of blood.
Blood sponsors, they don't really do.
Yeah. And so then, he's sitting there talking, he's like, make sure you come to us, your brothers, before you let your brother get you into something iffy. It's like, what's making you think about this?
But I like what he says about, don't come to Bishop, come to me.
Yeah.
Bishop's the one that stood behind this, sponsored this, and, said it was okay. So I like that Alvarez is saying, come to me if there's an issue. Yeah. Almost like, hey, if y'all can't be in the same club together, you can come to mine. Can squash beef a little bit almost.
I see what you're saying.
Angel doesn't look like he's looking at it that way. He looks like it's looking at like, hey, don't get too close to them because we're playing this whole other angle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was basically, monkey in the middle. I mean,
Yeah,
it's basically
kinda.
what it was.
They're volleyballing him, yeah.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah.
and they see how valuable he's going to be, so why wouldn't you want him on your side?
But speaking of this scene, I am not a fan of the walk they're making Angel do.
Oh yeah, that weird stagger.
The little gangster stagger is not good. Not
Yeah,
good.
because I wanted to pin it on like an injury or anything, but like he didn't have.
No,
he hasn't taken a leg
No, it
injury
was
or
purely
anything.
like that's just the way he walks. And to me, I'm with you. Like,
Yeah.
it was so awkward.
Have you seen it the rest of the episodes?
No.
I've not noticed it. I've
To
not
me,
seen
he's
it.
always stood tall and walked tall because, like, he's he looks like he's 6'5", and to me, it's like he had to lower down to create this step.
Well, he's almost like crooked man in a way. He's like kind of bent to the side a little bit. And
I
stuff.
mean, it looks like House without the cane or anything.
a little bit like he's walking without a cane.
Yeah, I didn't care for it at all.
I didn't care for it. It's just something that stuck out. I mean, that's a nitpicky thing, but it's like
It's a pretty big nitpicky thing. Like,
he's one of the characters I really like in
yes,
the show.
and
I
his stature is a big reason of it.
yeah, and the way he looks, and all that stuff, it matters to me. And I think of all the characters, the best job they've done is on him.
Now, you go
As far as
back-
the look.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Now you go back and watch him get off a bike and walk towards somebody or this, that, or so on. He don't have that walk.
Yeah, I don't know. Where
And
this
that would be
came
the
from.
most natural time for you to have the walk is getting off of it and everything.
Exactly. I to me that stuck out like a sore thumb.
Okay.
Not like it was like holy shit, what are you doing? But like
That's just a
weird,
choice.
You know,
Yeah, that's what I
like
thought.
that. So the opening of the scene is them. The Peckerwoods and this woman, and they're talking windage and yardage and everything else.
It's a buck.
Yeah.
The funny thing is one of my buddies is a hunting guy, and he's a former Army recon sniper, and so of course I called him. Smith, and so I talked to him, and I was telling him what was going on, and like that, and he goes, "Well, did that scope have any green in the lens?" And I was like,
No.
not that you mentioned it. And he goes, well, he couldn't see shit through that scope at night. He says, that requires so much light and this, that, or so on, da-da-da-da. And he says, now he didn't watch the scene, and I didn't look at it real close, but it did tickle my mind like, that looks like a regular rifle scope. You wouldn't be able to see much.
No, it was like you paid so much attention to the details with giving out the spotter and everything and all that. Why not just find a green lens or something to make
Here's
it
the
night
part
vision?
about it. When you get to the scene of the guy who's been shot, right? The lighting there is you can see him clearly. But I think that's because you want the cameras to be able to see it.
But it's like
they
he's
come
under
out of
a
the
street
truck
light.
Yeah.
with flashlights to represent that there's not enough light in this area.
There's no light. They're trying to represent like you can see him in moonlight, but it's yellow light.
Yeah.
It looks like a street light's above him almost.
Right. And so maybe not. I don't know. That kind of stuck out to me a little bit. But anyway, it goes. They're doing the windage. They're doing the yardage. He pulls the trigger. They get down there, and the guy's holding a body wound, an abdominal wound.
But I mean, how was he even seeing wind in the dark? You use something. You use a flag or something blowing in the wind to judge.
I'm with
windage.
you, man. Like it was too much. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It was
Well, I
like they had all the terminology down and everything. They just didn't fully commit to it.
I mean, if this was at dusk, where there's still daylight outside, this whole scene is completely on point. The whole night thing just kind of threw me off.
Well, I mean, you got to do it at night just because I don't think anyone's going to be trying to sneak over the border or anything.
Yeah, you're not muling drugs in the middle of the
Again,
day.
but there you go. So, you're rocking a hard place here. So anyway, they get down there, and of course, well, I thought the second shot was the kill shot. Well, no, that's the third, and she greases him. Okay, yay. They take the bag. Now, here's another thing. Did y'all notice when he took the bag, did y'all see anything fall out of it? Mm-mm. I rewound it like 3 or 4 times. And so when he goes to snatch that bag from the guy and walk out of there, I didn't see anything on the ground around him.
Oh, I did. There was several of them on the ground.
Okay, well, I didn't see anything come out of the bag, so I didn't know if it was already on the ground.
It was already on the ground.
Okay, all right. I was
Okay.
just making sure because somebody brought that up on social media. It was like, where all that shit come from? Because when he picked the bag up, nothing fell out.
No, when he leans down, he picks up one of the boxes and the bag and takes off.
Okay, all right. Well, that answers
But
the question.
there's several on the other side of his head on the ground there. Yeah.
All right, well, that answers the question. So, all right, so we're introduced to these new guys. To me, I wasn't a fan of these new guys, but it's almost like they were brought in to be cannon fodder to whatever the real situation's supposed to be.
Which is
Would y'all
these
agree?
military guys.
With this military guy. Which brings me to my next thing of, so far every episode, we've had a CG animal. Mm-hmm. And so far every episode, we've had
Photographic
Seagal vision.
Yep.
From Easy.
Oh, yeah. Well, and just a massive coincidence of, hey, this is right where we need it to be. Because the fact that they're neighbors to the whorehouse is just like, really?
That is very convenient, and of course they're like, "Oh, you just need to go see my neighbors." Like, there's no investigation. We already know exactly.
Like,
what
we
it
had
is.
never seen this
Got
warehouse
right to
or
it.
anything, hub of enemies and everything, and then boom.
This just
neighbors.
goes back to how fast the episode just throws stuff in.
This is what I'm talking about. This is why it feels like reshoots, because they got to A to B somehow, and they were like, "Oh man, we didn't get there," so they had to like throw something in. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it necessarily is working that well. It's not enough to say the show's shit. I'm not going to watch it anymore. It's just like I can see the pace they're running at, and you can see the breaks almost, like where they're like, throw some Samoans in, throw some Peckerwoods in,
Go to an Indian reservation casino and murder someone.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like
every episode's a whole new setting and a whole new deal,
a whole new race, a whole new setting, a whole new political
Agenda.
tie-in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Native American casino, it's all not on our land and all that type of shit. The white guys, I mean, of course, the white guys got to look like horrible people. They're shooting people trying to cross the border. I mean, it's like everybody's got some shit, so they're like hitting every little pin on the head.
True.
But
I mean, it's also giving me hope for next season and everything when we actually have the whole stable cast and everything, and we're not necessarily as worried about
I'm
reshoots.
hoping we actually build the cast in the next few episodes so that we have something to attach on to by the end of the season.
True. I mean,
one of
So
the
far,
things,
we're getting Coco. We're getting Coco, Angel, and Easy, right?
and Emily.
And that's it.
Emily, a
Zero.
little bit.
Emily's getting better. Pops.
Yep, Pops.
Okay.
But one of my things is like, as of right now, who do you think the bad guy is?
Oh God, I couldn't. Do we have a bad guy?
Do we have one?
Because what was it? Last episode, it went a long way to show Galindo as in a spot where he doesn't necessarily want to be.
Yes.
So I'm just saying he's a shitty human still, but I'm just saying just like he's forced into this position or whatever like that.
Well, I mean,
it's creating all these gray areas. Right?
my guess is it's either got to be the mother, Galindo's mother, or the advisor that they
I
brought in.
don't think there is a bad guy. I think this is soap opera where everybody's drama bleeds into somebody else's drama, and that's what we're unveiling. I don't think there is a singular situation. I think Galindo has his drama. I think the Mayans have their drama. I think the people around them have their drama, and it all bleeds together, and then with your main characters and stuff. And so it's just going to, as one's trying to solve theirs, it creates more for this one, and then when they're trying to solve that, it creates more for that one, and then just ring around the rosy.
Well, I mean, we haven't really seen the Mayans drama, really. All their drama is Galindo's.
To be honest with you, the Mayans are the collateral damage.
Yeah.
Because they're stuck between the Galindo cartel, controlling them basically because they can't tell them no or they'll all die, and between Easy, who is secretly, ratting them out.
Yeah, but no, he's not ratting them out. He's only ratting out Galindo. Like, he's not really doing anything with
It
the
doesn't
Mayans.
matter.
Yeah,
It
it's
can
going
drag
to
them
bleed
both.
into it
right.
and stuff.
And Angel doesn't know, and Angel's working his path too, so it's almost like they're really just showing there's not necessarily a bad guy. They're just showing all of the collateral damage.
Yeah, we're just showing
decisions,
Yep.
the stress that's being put on the gang because you've got three different people kind of trying to do three different things with one group.
And, that's classic Sutter, though. I mean, if you go back and watch some of his best seasons of SOA, S.H.I.E.L.D., all this stuff, it's everybody's drama, everybody's collateral is what's making the season what it is.
Right.
And that's how he works.
And normally I have no problem with that. I just feel like in past shows he's been able to create a stronger through line than this season so far of Mayans is, because the coincidences, the multiple different raced bad guys they throw in every episode, only to be wrapped up by the end.
Yeah.
Every episode it's happening.
Let's get a few cliffhangers in there and everything and build on them.
The coincidences are tough sometimes. All right. I'm liking Pops' story.
Yes.
Right? I think it's cool. Okay, but now he has a secret background too.
All right, so you want to go ahead and explore this?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's look
All
into
right,
this.
so if you look at the picture, so I paused and freeze framed each one of these, okay? Of course, there is one distinct picture where it shows him with a machete and three heads at his feet. Did y'all see that? Okay. So to me, that's obvious. Old Pops has got a pretty checkered past,
I'd say he has a cartel past.
He does. And so I'm guessing that picture of him as a younger man.
The very bad CGI'd one?
I'm
that
going to
one?
guess that the guy next to him is Galindo.
The older
Yeah,
Galindo.
The
older-
original Galindo.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess that he was one of the bad guys for one of the head bad guys for the Galindo. He's basically Cornrows. He's the old version of
Nestor?
Cornrows.
Yeah.
Could be, but here's my thing. Alvarez knows old man Galindo, that's gone now,
Yes.
very well. Why wouldn't he know him?
I mean, he might know him and just gives him a pass because he got out.
I don't know.
He
Well,
did
maybe
like
he
a
knows
John
old man
Wick.
Galindo, but it was after 1985.
No, he would know who Reyes is
Because he
and
said,
everything.
remember he said that in 1985, Felipe, this Social Security number is from a woman who died in El Paso, and that's where when you got married and created Felipe, that's when it happened. And so, you look at the age difference of Pops versus, Alvarez. I mean, it's technically possible that he got to know Galindo after.
There's some technically possibles, yes. I won't say that, but I'm and they've laid a couple Easter eggs with Angel asking Easy, does he ever say anything about what happened to Mom and all that type of stuff. Almost gives you the idea like he was a drunk that used to beat her or something like that.
But we found out that he wasn't or anything.
Yeah, we found out he wasn't, but I mean, they still don't know who their mom was apparently, or maybe they do, but we don't know what happened to her.
We're not real sure. We've speculated that.
Yeah, there's some gray area there that we don't know about.
Like Cash and I talked about last week, is I think we feel like I made the prediction of that the Easy was chasing this guy with the gun who ended up killing the cop. I predicted that guy he was chasing was the one that maybe killed his mother. Is maybe why would you be so enraged to go after somebody? Is maybe if they shot somebody you loved. And so to me, that was my prediction. We'll find out if that's true or not.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I was digging a lot last week, but after this week and everything,
Yeah, I mean, him having a checkered past could definitely mean that, his
old cartel
his
related
wife
and
died
everything.
from his past sins.
True, and like I say, the whole conversation was about the coincidence.
yes.
It's
Well,
just
and
like,
this police officers or this DEA agents, their cousin or something, right? Because he calls them cousin when they're talking. Or maybe I misheard it when
I
they
think
were
maybe
talking.
misheard. I
I
don't
think
know,
you
or
misheard.
maybe
I
I
don't
didn't
know
hear it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
But I felt like there was some kind of relation between.
I wasn't slapped in the face with this episode with the baddest coincidences as we were in the beginning.
No, I mean, I still feel like it was a good episode and everything.
There
was
still are some though.
Oh,
They're not as pungent as originally.
Well, what do you think about digging a grave and all of a sudden falling into a tunnel? In the middle of it.
if y'all could see Zach's face right now as he's trying to hide this.
I'm going to go to the restroom break on that one.
I'm just saying there.
Well, and it's like, what's this tunnel for? Like,
Well, I'm sure we'll find out.
Well, no, it's right there at the border.
I'm sure it's.
I'm sure it's just a
but-
secret tunnel to come across the
but
border.
I mean, like, if we've got the #1 cartel and this isn't their tunnel, like,
who says it's not?
But it's not the #1 cartel. It's #2 cartel.
no, that's Ozarks.
No, you're right. You're right.
Oh man,
Yeah, easy.
so always with the #2.
But yeah,
Like, we're all watching Ozarks.
We'll find
right
out
now,
about
guys,
the tunnel. I'm just saying the coincidences.
Yes.
They're digging a hole, and of course they fall into a tunnel. I mean, a tunnel that's as wide as the damn hole, basically, and right in the middle of a desert, and they just happen to dig right on the roof of it. I'm just saying they throw some shit in there sometimes.
Oh,
It's
especially
just
'cause
like, okay,
They hadn't dug very deep yet. Like, I mean, they were only like, what, 3 feet deep, maybe?
Well, I don't even care about that. I'm just saying how they just so happen to pick a spot
Yes.
to
I
dig
was
a
thinking.
hole, and it just so happens to be on top of the tunnel.
Yes.
I'm just saying it's little things like that. There had to be. Well, I like to think there's people in the writers' rooms and in Sutter's brain that's like
Arguing and everything and being like, we can't put
somebody
this in there.
has to be fighting for the thing to be like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
this looked like Tremors. You know what I'm saying? I just I don't like
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon right here.
when you see them pull off something extremely well, some kind of way of things coming together. It's like, man, that worked out so well, and a good surprise, good whatever. But when they just slap you over the head with something that's just ridiculous, like them falling in this, I was like, ugh. It takes me out of it a little bit. It makes me feel like they just had to connect a piece.
I'm gonna throw something at you real quick. I don't think that bothered me at all because I was still the only part of the episode that I was just like cringed was them going into that house and seeing everybody nice and neat in their chairs with a bullet hole in their head. I have no idea how you get everybody to sit into a seat and then take a single shot to the face
with no one getting up.
without it. Like everybody was in the same room with a headshot.
There's like what, 5 people?
Give me a plausible way that happens.
I mean, that's set up after. No,
These are already business partners. They're supposed to be business partners. The military group.
yeah,
Because if you notice, they're all like assassinated.
yes,
Basically. So I would assume they're all in there having a chat and stuff like that. And all the military guys are standing in the middle and they just pull guns out.
So we're thinking like multiple military guys came.
Yeah, I mean,
in.
absolutely.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you're saying
absolutely.
that there's like 7 military guys walking in
Absolutely.
there? Okay.
Yeah, and they just all pull a gun on
see,
each one of them.
I wanted your opinion because I was sitting there chewing on how in the hell
No,
is there one guy still in there shooting out? When they're trying to come to do the doorbell trick and everything else, and everybody else is in there dead with almost no defense wounds, no nothing. They're all sitting pretty in a chair and couches.
Because you're not expecting the people you're trying to work with to turn a gun on you and shoot you.
Okay.
It actually made just fine sense with me.
Okay.
Well, that makes me feel better because I was sitting. I spent most of the night after watching the episode trying to visualize how that happens.
No, see, that sequence, not necessarily the guy shot and killed in there, but the fact that Angel cold-blooded kills this kid, like, that was the best moment as far as the story is involved to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because now Easy's like, shit, Angel may be too deep in this.
Or Angel's gone a little darker.
Or gone darker than I expected.
Yes.
I'm with you totally. I mean, and then he's like, we're going to, you need to cut his thumb off. We're going to need it. And then he cuts his finger off.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, I would have taken the whole hand.
Did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He asked, cut his thumb off, and Easy pulls his pointer finger up.
Well, no. He said take his finger. We're going to need
He
it later.
says take his
His
finger.
finger.
Yeah, he
but
said-
did he use his thumb to
No,
put
he
on
used
the
his
phone?
pointer finger.
No, I use his pointer finger.
Which
Okay,
I
I'll
don't
make
know.
sure because some people are. How many people use their pointer finger for
Nobody. Literally nobody.
I've only seen the thumb. It
But-
doesn't make sense to use the thumb.
That phone wasn't an iPhone, and I thought the iPhone was the only one that had the
But it
fingerprint
shows him put it on the
recognition.
base of it like where an iPhone would be.
Yeah.
No, it's obvious what
But, I
they're
mean-
doing. I'm just saying.
I mean, I just want you to know that's something I was like, oh.
No, I mean, I was looking at that too. And he's just like, lucky it's on a new phone. We'd be ripping off his face.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't have a huge problem. Because to be honest with you, the number one thing I'm taking away from this whole episode is Angel's dark side that we saw. And the fact that it's going to cause a problem with Easy.
Absolutely, because he's, like you said, he's too deep now. He's fully committed to the rebels and taking over Bishop. And so there's no way both of them make it to the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I think number one thing was that I think the Pop's backstory and that stuff, it's probably number two. Even though I don't like necessarily how it's just all of a sudden here.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of neat that he might have a little story.
I mean, if it gives us more Pops, I'm okay with it.
he might be the strongest actor in the
He's
show.
without a doubt the strongest actor.
he is.
Yeah.
So I'm
There's
just
no
like,
doubt about it. Ignacio Cortina is his.
actor's name?
Well, that's.
I thought it was Cortez.
No. I looked at it. I paused it. It's Ignacio Cortina is the name of the paperwork of him as a young man. That's what his name before he became
okay.
Felipe.
Okay.
So he's Ignacio.
But and to finish off Pop, could we have not had that easy Pop scene in the Mayans place?
when he shows up and gives him, you need to make an intel drop.
Gives him the handshake and Easy immediately opens it and reads it right there. It's like,
Yeah, really.
oh, okay, yeah, I'll see you later, Pop. I'm glad we did this all hidden in the shadows.
I appreciate the covert handshake, but I'm just going to open this right here like a fucking birthday card.
Can I get the magnifying glass and read it out loud and everything? You got a megaphone?
Let me put my earpiece in. I'll read this. Yeah,
Check.
Whatever. At this, and look,
At that point, shoot a text.
Sons of Anarchy had its own problems.
Yes.
With coincidences, with silly shit in some of its seasons. I mean, we all remember the Ireland season and stuff like that.
Do we want to remember that season?
I've tried to forget.
There's some goofy stuff that happens in Sutter's past with his shows and things like that. So I'm willing to just look over a lot of stuff for this show.
A lot of that was for the love of the characters.
And just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing, is you were able to overlook it in Sons of Anarchy so easily towards the end because you were like, I'm attached
to everybody.
to 10 people on this show. You know what I mean? Or more.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
Anybody dies, you're devastated. You're crying the whole
right,
9 yards.
this show
Just hasn't gotten us there.
hasn't earned that level of coverage for me. So it's like, I'm going to nitpick.
Yeah.
I can't fake through loving something. I am enjoying the show.
I really feel like we're going to get to that point with this show. But right now,
I agree. If the show is allowed to have that much, long life, I see, at least I feel like I can see where they had to like just reshoot and throw things in and just, in a hurry, get situations to A to B.
Yeah, just kind of glue things together and everything.
They
but that's
they
literally
keep
what
a high rate
happened.
pace.
Yeah.
To make sure nobody can say it's boring or dragging or anything else.
But they reshot all the way up to 3 months before it released.
But I bet if you ask anybody about this show that you respect their opinion on the show, or even not, their favorite scenes from all the episodes are the slower scenes.
Yeah.
The conversations with Pops.
Well, Emily taking over the whole meeting with the advisor, Galindo, and Nestor, I thought was a great scene.
That was totally fine with me. I think the slower stuff plays better than the fist fights and stuff like that, because a lot of times, it does seem a little WWE.
Oh yeah, they were all missing punches and everything.
It literally brought Kane out of the back, fatigues on.
Come at me, bro. You should have listened.
The only thing
to
missing
them.
was a folding chair, man.
Yeah, he just needed walkout music.
Yeah. Where was Mr. Sacco?
Yeah. Now, granted, the dude looks the part. The dude looks badass.
Oh, he does.
He looks like a beast.
I love the
They
Angel.
threw him at us, and now he's the bigger bad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? First off, he beats Angel's ass.
I didn't even see the first punch coming.
But, now we see that they, military execute
Yeah.
the whole group of Peckerwoods. So, they're obviously highly trained.
Do we, and when I'm saying we, I mean the Mayans, do we stand a chance against the military group?
If this is realistic,
Yeah.
then
No.
then logically I would say no. They're going to have to pull some kind of trick on them of some kind, or outsmart them.
But I don't even see how we do that because
They're military.
Yeah.
They're pretty smart cats as it is. I'm just saying,
they're gonna have to just get too
obviously
cocky.
they're not going to win.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to do something really, well thought out, I feel, to make it seem plausible that they took the military guys.
Yes. Because this is a very strong enemy that
if you see what happens when they walk up to the door and it's shot open or like that, and every time they just spraying guns around, they're diving on the ground and shit like that. We're not talking about professional gunslingers here.
it's not like we have Rick leading the group out here or anything. So
could it be plausible? This is my thought: is that this guy really isn't a bad, but more or less he's cleaning up this mess, but for his own operation. You know what I mean?
No, he is. They said in the episode, he's tying up loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
Peckerwoods are
loose ends.
redneck idiots that are shooting, illegals on the border. It's ridiculous.
As a game.
Draws too much attention. They want to sell drugs. They want to sell oxy. And Angel wants to sell them heroin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's there may not even be a battle between these guys at first.
To me,
Well, as soon as he finds out that they're buying heroin from the Mayans, by he, Bishop, that's going to become a problem. There's no way Angel's going to be able to keep this covert.
But the thing is, if they're smart, Angel will sell the heroin to these guys.
But he's always got his
while
5 keys.
Coco is sitting with a rifle and just greases all of them as soon as they get the money. Heroin sold, he got the money, military whites are gone.
Yeah, I just don't see the military letting a trap set like that.
I don't disagree with you, but if I'm thinking, how the hell are they going to pull this off? Is they're going to try to make some kind of money deal with the heroin?
I like it.
To me, that heroin is the biggest wild card. If it gets sold to the wrong person, the wrong person hears about it. To me, that's catastrophic.
Well,
that's going to be the haymaker of the season.
Well, that's not really going to matter. That's just going to escalate Bishop versus Angel.
Well, there is no Bishop versus Angel. I think when that happens, that's when it's going to cause a club divided. And that will be the biggest rift, when that happens. If it happens.
Did Sons of Anarchy have this in the first season with Clay?
No, not in the first season. No, Clay decided they were going to run drugs for the cartel, which was against what?
Is that season 2 or something like that?
No, it was later. because that's when they brought in Trejo and the guy from S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that, and that's when the club was divided.
Okay, I'm just curious because
that's something that could possibly happen.
I mean, there's so much drama, and then they're like, let's throw gas on the fire with the whole Angel and the other three pulling this play.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just like I said, everything is so fast.
It is that.
Everything is so
all
fast.
right, you mentioned Emily earlier, and Emily comes up with all this research, comes to the table conversation.
Fully committing herself to being like, I'm part of the cartel.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this was a huge scene.
I did like Mom's conversation of either you're on the outside and oblivious and you get to enjoy emotions, or you're inside and you feel nothing because you have to feel nothing. I thought that was spot on. I liked Emily's table talk. I like that they tried to patronize her at first, and I appreciated her response to that. And
the old guy,
the advisor, I can't ever remember his name or anything.
I always forget.
I just listen. I call him the advisor.
Another good actor.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
He's the second strongest person on the show.
He was good in Punisher. He's not huge in Punisher, but he's good in it.
Yeah, he feels every
the
part
void that's needed. Yeah, there's no doubt.
He just feels the part and everything.
But I think everybody should, and I feel this way. But if you look at him and Galindo, you're like, that's the guy who really looks like he should be running things.
And that's why I'm saying, like, he could be the big bad. Like, I think either him or
I don't think it's the mom. I think it's possibly him, saying somebody's being weak.
So then do we think that he possibly knows Pops?
Don't know yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we don't know if Pops is actually even connected to Galindo. That is just a
old like theory. I mean, it's ultimate theory. But once again, the coincidence, if he is Galindo's right-hand man at some point or whatever the thing is, it's like, man, another coincidence.
Yeah. I really hope he's not. I hope he's like an assassin from Guatemala that was a hitman and known for it, and then the other person in the picture is another known assassin or something of that nature.
You remember Fear the Walking Dead? What's his name from Predator 2?
Oh yeah.
Okay, he was from Panama or Guatemala or
he was a Guatemalan general.
But anyway, he was on the dark side of the rebels that took over, and they were just slaughtering people.
Okay, so I mean, he could have just been something.
I mean, he was part of the team that was supposed to take back the country.
Yeah, he was a general,
but he was horrific.
Yeah, he was like what you see in Africa, where they just kill everybody.
Okay,
right,
and so on, and then he becomes the barbershop guy in L.A. to hide away from his past.
If that is what Pops is, I'm fine, totally fine with that. If he has some kind of checkered past like that, where he was part of a revolution, something like that, not necessarily tied with the cartel or Mexico at all, I'm fine. I'm straight with that totally.
Okay,
but I don't want there to be a direct tie-in. I don't want that.
I'm afraid there is.
And to get back on topic with the Emily thing, I loved all of the Emily stuff up until the end of the episode.
Dude, when she got trampled, I was calling BS. I mean, she had all these nasty, bloody wounds everywhere. When she first hit the ground, she had a huge blood
on the top of her head.
I was like, what the? And
she was like bleeding out before she even hit the ground, like on the way down. It was like
it
Max Payne shot like 4 different times. I was
if you were, I didn't do this, but I bet if you were to slow that down, when she hits the ground, she's already got the blood all over her head.
She did
before she hits the ground.
She did. We call it. I rewound it twice because I was like, "Where'd the blood? What?" The top of her head has got a huge splotch of blood before she ever hits the ground.
One time you see somebody's foot come by and like kick her in the face, it looks like, or something.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. All three of us were linemen in our lives as football players. And I have been trampled by people with cleats.
Ooh, that hurts.
And I don't even have a bloody scratch. It's just bruises, markings. She looked like somebody took a garden rake to her as they walked by.
It looked like somebody threw a wet cat at her. And she just got tore up.
Yeah, I mean,
all this stuff was good. The nurse or the nurse nun, that was beat with a bat and stuff. I was like, this is great. This is excellent. This is I think what I think was great about it was like, you think
that's great.
You think it's just like the place is trash and all that stuff. And the nun thing, Emily obviously had no idea that was going to be.
I had no idea about it. Really,
to me, I was confused if who, what, and where, what this was. I mean, to my understanding, the plan is that they were supposed to walk into something that was terrible, and he was supposed to step up and say, I'm just absolutely embarrassed by this. It's horrible, to be the king of the day.
Yeah.
After the whole thing comes out, and then people are like, this was the rebels that did this, and stuff, then he steps forward.
Yeah.
But instead, Emily gets...
But the thing with Emily was people were coming out horrified.
Way too shocked, so she had to see what it was.
So she needed to go in, see what was so bad, because I think she thought, like we thought, it was just
trashed.
The place was trashed. The fact that the nun was beat with a bat, I thought was great. That,
fantastic.
Because that's a good way of saying, hey, I wanted this to happen, but I didn't think it meant the nun who was taking care of our baby was going to get her head beat in. You know what I mean? So I thought that was great. And then they did the trampling, and I could have just took a dump on the whole episode after that. It was so silly.
It was, man.
It wasn't necessary.
It really was.
And it was
silly.
poorly done, which made it even worse.
She's the only one that's laying on the ground, wet-catted.
You realize no one else was laying down.
Yeah.
She's the only casualty to a trampling.
And it's like she wasn't wearing like something extra that made it easy for her to fall down or anything. Like it was just, she somehow got pushed in between like the two crowds of people, and it was like.
And tell me what the trampling does. And to tell you the truth, he's like picking her up. Stay with me.
Yeah, like she's dead.
Like she's gonna die. Are you kidding me? This isn't a soccer stadium collapsing.
No.
This isn't.
She's gonna die.
She's gonna die. She's from them size 9s.
Mexicans have small feet.
Hey, whoa.
That was just a cash joke. If she's even threat of death, I might end the podcast.
Like if we have a doctor, like if she's in the hospital and everything.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a preview where she's in a wheelchair in the next episode.
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that spoiler out there.
Please tell you're making that up.
I'm not making it up, dude.
If I see one IV bag, I'm calling it. Calling it
quits right there, man.
I am done.
She's got major kidney damage. The liver shot. Carefully.
Negative. I would have loved to have seen like actual boot prints on her back of her dress. You know what I mean?
Little kid was using it as a trampoline out.
That's size 10 right there.
Pecos Tails over there just dancing on her back. Just, oh my God.
Oh, God.
If she's even remotely close to death. If she's paralyzed, I'll call it. If her leg is broken, I'll call it.
She's never going to be able to walk again.
If she has any long-term injury, it's all she wrote.
Honestly. Guys. I mean, if we're being serious, like, I was fine with the episode. Like I said, it was fast-paced. Some coincidental stuff that I have to look past and stuff like that. I cannot
look past her being in a wheelchair with IV bags coming out.
No.
All right. Last thing on the episode was Coco. And him
was Coco what? Was Coco?
Coco addressing now we have determined his daughter.
Okay, I'm actually happy it's not his baby sister.
Yes.
That whole baby sister scene made no sense to me.
Okay.
So, do we now know that it was his daughter in a porno scene?
Correct.
Yes.
That was his daughter.
Okay.
And so on. And
his mom is an enormous garbage person.
She is something special. Not in a good way.
Cum guzzling gutter slut was one of the comments that was put on social media.
The apple didn't fall too far from the tree, apparently.
Well, no, if she was that, then we wouldn't have Coco or his daughter. So, like, obviously she was a guzzler.
I'm just saying, some of the comments on social media were pretty damn harsh, man.
Yeah, I mean, she's like riding out, peeling out with her finger out the window.
Happy of what she had just
this
done.
is the happiest family I've seen on the episode.
Oh, yeah.
This family has the least amount of drama.
When I find out this is his dad, his mother F you. After you outs him that he's the dad, she goes to get on an 18-wheeler. I'll suck your dick. Just drive.
Okay, but before I don't want to get off Coco, but the brothel. What are the Native American guy, who I'm assuming is a Native American,
what Native American?
On the Mayans, which I thought they were all Mexican, but the guy had a close tie-in
Reyes,
with the casino guys.
Reyes? No.
Reyes?
Reyes. Yeah.
Reyes. I don't know.
Reyes?
Something with an R.
I hope it's not Reyes. Reyes Blackfoot or something. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's something like that shows you how terrible. I mean,
walks with Latins.
I know exactly what you're talking
But
about.
the brothel owner or the whatever she's called, I can't remember what the hell they're called, Madam, and him seemed like they had a relationship, like almost like they're together.
I mean,
or something.
The one that stayed back with her and everything when they were checking everything out.
Well, it just was like make sure nothing happens to the girls, and they were together all the time. Anytime they got together, it was them two. That is, like I said, they didn't make that very clear.
No,
but they're showing relationships that people have with outside parties. Mm-hmm. Bishop and the rehab girl. Mm-hmm. They seem like they have some kind of past or whatever.
We get introduced to a new cop this time. We have that cop and his
favorite whore.
And
there's a knowing look from that prostitute
to Easy
and stuff. And she seemed kind of like not mad but disinterested. Mm-hmm. I was just curious. Like I said, Coco's back. Obviously we learn a little bit of that, and his daughter running to the trucker. Just all suck your dick. Just drive.
Just get me out of here.
Family of the Year award goes too. and
so so now I'm just curious. Like, did Coco have her at like 15? Or is he a little bit older than we thought?
She doesn't look more than 14 or so.
Yeah, I mean, she's less than 16 years old. So even if he's 32, he was 16 years old when he had her at top.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the more you look at him, the more I can see that he's older than what we think he is.
He looks older now when you see him. But my thing is, they were talking about adoption and stuff like that. He was obviously young. Yeah. And so was the mother.
And they're just trying to get rid of,
right?
Well, not get rid of, give
her a better choice, a better option in life.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that probably
I don't
was
have a
the right
problem with
decision,
that at all. I don't have a problem with this storyline.
No, I was just trying to figure out how, because I remember bringing this up thinking that it might have been his daughter, but then we were spitballing it. And
27 years old.
Either way, whatever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good when she outed him. I was like, "Dang, man!" My wife's like,
"Have some daddy-daughter time." What'd you say?
Yeah, do the math, honey.
I'm your grandmother.
Oh,
God. And then he cuts. I
didn't like his run towards the trucker.
Oh, that wasn't a run.
No,
that was a run. It was a gimpy limp.
Yeah, it's almost like when you have a bad date or something. It's like, please don't go. No stop.
No stop.
Please don't go.
Run. No, not that fast.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited to see where that storyline goes because it's definitely going to keep popping up and everything.
Yeah,
and once the gang actually finds out that he has a daughter, that's going to end poorly. Like,
all this looks poor, but
everybody's got their issues.
But like I was saying, with the guy in the brothel owner and Bishop and the rehab chick and stuff like that, they're showing extracurricular ties.
Bishop could have had a relationship with the mayor for all we know, as close as they talk.
They seem like it.
Yeah, like
but
there might have been something there
lovers and everything.
But then she says something about how she could barely look at her in the mirror or sleep at night because of how she plays. Between those two. So she's on the take, is what it is.
And then I guess one of the last things is Pops going to make Easy change his mind about turning on Emily?
The whole DEA guy, showing that he has a heart and he don't want to do that, and then puts it to him and he won't, and then getting on Pops, and then throwing up out in the truck, and all that. To me, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how they're going to turn that. To me, I don't think it's going to go the way you think. I think that's what makes it good.
I think Pops is a smart man. He's going to figure out a way around the situation some kind of way. They show the box where he puts his file, and the pictures and all that stuff. That's Chekhov's box. You know what I mean? It's like that's going to come up at some point.
Absolutely.
It probably won't be easy finding it or something.
No, it's
going to
be
Angel or something,
You know what I hate to say? I feel like Pops won't survive the rest of the season. I feel like that's got to happen for things to go.
I have a hard time believing Pops is going to go.
I just don't see the trio surviving. I just don't. I think that between him, Angel, and Pops, something's got to give.
No, because I can see him being the good middleman between Angel and Easy.
I don't know.
I mean, he's going to be the only thing that prevents Easy and Angel from killing each other at points.
It'd be extremely unfortunate if he's the one that goes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have that sneaky feeling. But, hey, been wrong many times before. You know how it goes. You know.
Often.
Pretty much all the time.
Easy
Like,
over there. Easy. Ain't talking about character neither. You know, but I don't know. What did y'all think? Did y'all think the episode was the same as we did? Was it, or I mean, I hate to say that a lot of people on social media thought it was, it's the best one yet, this, that, or so on. Have we swayed you? Has anything changed your mind, or are we just dumbasses?
Probably the
if we
latter.
are dumbasses, let Cash know. If we're great and so on, let Jake and I
email us at BleedTV podcast at gmail.com.
just say Cash the dumbass, and we'll know what you mean. So, but other than that, guys, I think it's, like I said, it's a great series so far. As long as we tone down the CG animals, Seagal vision, and Emily better not have any mortal injuries, then
We should be fine.
We should be good moving forward.
Jesus.
I think we'll call it a night, guys. This is BleedTV, and I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cash.
And we'll see y'all next week.